Netflix didn't just promote Stranger Things, they turned real cities into fiction. In Sydney, a Demogorgon tore through the sky. No screen, no projector, just a creature floating above the city. Netflix didn't just promote Stranger Things, they turned entire cities into portals. And one of these activations was so good, people tried to touch monsters that weren't even there. I'm ranking all 5 by how well the technology disappears. Because the best illusions, you never see them coming. If you love live experiences, digital illusions, and event design, subscribe, let's go. Number 5, Gateway of India, Mumbai. Netflix takes one of India's most iconic monuments and projects, Stranger Things, all over it. The canvas is incredible, massive arch, instant recognition, emotional weight, and the projection itself, clean, colorful. The animation flows smoothly across the stone. From a technical standpoint, this is solid work, but here's the problem. They're treating the gateway like a flat billboard. The projection sits on the building. It doesn't become part of the building. Your brain sees a screen, not magic. You're impressed, you take your photo, you move on. It's a great Instagram moment, but the illusion doesn't stick. You never forget you're watching a projection. And when you're promoting a show about monsters breaking through dimensions, that's a missed opportunity. Number 4, Empire State Building, New York. Now we're talking serious production. 46 projectors, one of the most famous buildings on earth, perfectly synchronized. The execution here is flawless. The colors bleed perfectly across the Art Deco facade. The timing is precise and the scale massive. This is what happens when you have a big budget and world-class production teams. It looks absolutely incredible from every angle, but it's still a screen. The building becomes a canvas, a massive canvas. Yes, but you're always aware you're looking at a projection on a building. It's spectacular, it's iconic, but it doesn't trick your brain into believing something impossible is happening. And that's the difference. When you're promoting monsters from another dimension, you need people to question reality, not just admire your screen. Number 3, the Sphere, Las Vegas. Okay, this is where it gets absolutely insane. The Sphere isn't a building, it's a weapon-grade storytelling device. 580,000 square feet of LED panels, 16,000 by 16,000 resolution. This thing is basically a small planet covered in screens, and when they wrap the mind flayer around it, it doesn't look like a projection. It looks like a creature towering over Las Vegas, alive, breathing. You don't watch this from a distance. You feel small, you feel dwarfed. This is forced perspective at city scale, and it works perfectly. This is what happens when you have an unlimited budget, the most advanced display technology on the planet, and zero compromises. So why isn't this number 1? Because everyone knows they're looking at the Sphere. The venue is too famous, the technology is too obvious, and you see it, you're amazed, but you're never confused. You're never questioning what's real. The Sphere is so engineered for spectacle that the illusion becomes secondary. It's incredible, but you're always aware you're being marketed to. And the best activations, the ones that change how people think about marketing, those make you forget you're being marketed to. They make you believe. And that brings us to number 2. Number 2, Cudo Studio, Warsaw. This one doesn't try to be the biggest. It tries to be the smartest. Cudo Studio is an industrial building, raw concrete, angular, dark, the kind of space most brands would look at and say that's not pretty enough for our campaign. But the team behind this didn't fight the architecture. They used it. The building itself is already half creepy, so they leaned into it. Creatures moving through shadows, silhouettes crawling across rough surfaces, negative space doing half the storytelling. The darkness isn't covering anything up. It's part of the design. The building's texture makes everything feel dangerous, unstable, and because the content belongs to the space, the illusion hits harder. This isn't loud, it's intelligent. Most activations try to overpower the space. This one respects it, and that restraint, that's what makes it memorable. When projections stop screaming and starts whispering, you get moments like this. Honestly, this might be the most underrated activation on this entire list, but there's one activation that went even further. One that made the technology completely invisible. Number 1, Sky Portal, Sydney, London, Mumbai. This is the one that made people lose their minds. This is the one where people reached out trying to touch creatures that weren't there. This is where the illusion became perfect. Let me explain how this works, because it's deceptively simple. They use something called a holographic scrim. It's a semi-transparent mesh, almost invisible when lit correctly. You suspend it in mid-air between buildings or structures, then you project onto it from a hidden angle. And here's the key. Because the mesh is translucent, the city still exists behind it. Your brain doesn't see a screen, it sees a tear in space. There's no frame, no edge, no clear boundary between the real world and the illusion. So when a Demogorgon appears, it's not appearing on something. It's appearing in the space, floating, breaking through. Your brain has nothing to latch onto, so it just believes it. In Sydney, people stood there for hours, reaching, touching empty air. In London, the crowd didn't disperse. They stayed, they watched, they filmed, and they couldn't explain what they were seeing. In Mumbai, it became the most talked about thing that year. Not because it was the biggest, because it felt real. The screen disappears, the projector disappears, only the creature remains. That's why it's number one. Not because of budget, not because of scale, because the technology became invisible. And when technology disappears, magic appears. Let me show you the difference. The sphere says, look at this massive screen. Look at our technology. Look what we built. Sky Portal says there is no screen. There is no technology. There's just a creature right there in your city. One is spectacle, one is immersion. And immersion always wins. So here's what Netflix figured out. The best marketing doesn't look like marketing. It looks like an experience, like a story, like magic. They didn't interrupt people's lives to show them an ad. They gave people a moment they'd never forget. Sky Portal didn't show you Stranger Things. It didn't tell you to watch Stranger Things. It made you believe for just a few minutes that Stranger Things was actually happening right there in your city. And that's how you create something people can't stop talking about. If you want more breakdowns like this, where I go deep on the strategy, the technology, and the creative decisions behind major activations, hit that subscribe button. And tell me in the comments which one would you want to experience in person. Would you go for the scale of the sphere, the intelligence of Warsaw, or the pure magic of Sky Portal? Drop your answer below. I'll see you in the next one.